Another white cop is shot 5 times. He's in critical condition. Another black person is holding the gun. This time in New Orleans. But before we get to that news clip, let's remember what the district attorney down in New Orleans said last year during a similar drug bust. The people of New Orleans, he said, are blinded to the undeniable fact our city is presently under siege from urban terrorists. Where have you heard that before? That, of course, is what Pat McDonough, state legislator in Maryland, says about Baltimore. We've heard that in many cities.
The deputy is in stable but serious condition. Sheriff Newell Norman says he was in surgery for at least 2 hours this morning, and now doctors say he likely won't be out of the woods at least for the next 48 hours. Now, 35-year-old deputy Stephen Arnold was part of a 12-person DEA task force team executing a warrant in the lower 9th Ward early this morning when he was shot at least 5 times, once in the neck and 4 more times in his torso and arm. He was rushed here to University Medical Center where he remains in critical condition. The DEA says the team was part of 7 other teams executing warrants across New Orleans East, stemming from a 7-month investigation dealing with heroin and violent crimes. The investigation is an extension of the Wild Wild East bust from last year when the DEA netted 111 arrests. Deputy Arnold was previously part of the Gretna Street Crimes Task Force before joining the DEA task force. Now he has a slew of law enforcement officers and family waiting at the hospital for good news.
At this point in time are praying that neurologically that there's not any impairment. This will take probably a 48-hour trek before we know one way or not another whether or not there's any neurologic impairment.
Yeah, those multitude of deputies are standing by, I'm told, with Deputy Arnold's girlfriend. Sheriff Newell Norman said earlier today it appeared as if he wasn't breathing, but he came through from that. Obviously 2 hours of surgery, still waiting to see what's happening. But right now, again, he is in critical condition.
Deputy Arnold was initially rushed to St. Bernard Hospital in a police car, then taken to University Hospital in an ambulance. I-10 westbound, Claiborne, and other major roadways were shut down at points to help get Deputy Arnold treatment, causing heavy delays during this morning's commute. At today's press conference, Sheriff Newell Norman says that he heard complaints about the traffic holdups on the radio, and then he went off.
God, wake up. What are we doing? You know, their life is more important than nobody's life is any more important than the others. We're just trying to save our own. For Christ's sake, we're out there doing the people's work for the people's safety. And I have to stare these families in the face every day when they walk into this ER and they find out that their son's all shot up. I mean, I don't know, you know, sometimes the insensitivity is just mind-boggling to me. We're all in this together. And if we don't think it can't touch our family, come talk to this family. I thought better of us.
This is not the first time I've heard a group of people in a chocolate city complain that the rigmarole surrounding an officer-involved shooting was quite an inconvenience for them. 2014, in my little hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, about 8 blocks from where I sit making this video, a cop was shot. So they flooded the neighborhood with a few dozen cops and a helicopter. They shut down the streets, and one of the local media outlets put on a couple of interviews with black people who said, why are all these people here? Why are all these police here just for a shooting? Cops aren't any better than us. We're as good as them. Why aren't all these cops here every time one of us is shot? Memo to anybody who says that or thinks that. Cops are better than you. This also isn't the first time we've heard the sheriff go off. Last year, after an officer-involved shooting, the parents of the dead guy, the dead black person, came out and said it was a setup. The kid didn't do it. The kid was a good boy. He didn't have any guns. And then, well, let's take a look at what the sheriff had to say about that.
So the message to Kensington and all the other neighborhoods in Jefferson Parish: wake up!
Sheriff Newell Norman gets fired up as he defends his deputies' actions after they shot a drug suspect, and he calls on citizens to take action.
Good evening, I'm Kim Holden.
And I'm John Snell. The sheriff's heated words come as he also showed off the guns he says Desmond Willis used to shoot at his deputies.
Natasha Robin is live in Harvey with more.
Sheriff Newell Norman was fired up and didn't hold back as he talked about an Algiers man shot by deputies earlier this week. At times, the sheriff was screaming, even gripping the podium.
Not to be insensitive, but I'll be damned if this office is going to stand by and have its reputation impugned by people when this video's out there, trying to pollute the minds of our youngsters in our community day in and day out with this crap.
25-year-old Desmond Willis was killed during a shootout with police on Manhattan Boulevard in Harvey on Monday. The shooting happened as deputies tried to arrest Willis following a traffic stop when deputies smelled marijuana. Sheriff Norman began today's presser by playing a series of videos on social media showing Willis rapping about shooting at the cops, dealing and smoking marijuana, and living a gangster lifestyle. Norman says he wanted to release the videos to discredit what Willis's family told the media about Willis being a good guy. He says the videos speak for itself. Norman says the scene that unfolded on Manhattan Boulevard is the exact scene Willis described in the videos.
Over 65 rounds fired that day. Absolute miracle that no one got hurt. In fact, one of the witnesses said as she watched the thing go down on the street between the hotel and the office building, she turned her head because she did not want to see a cop get killed. So the message to Kensington and all the other neighborhoods in Jefferson Parish: wake up! If you know what's going on in your neighborhoods, call the sheriff's office and let us know. Because your life is not going to matter.
Norman also displayed guns, bullets, and drugs on a table at the presser. He says they found those items in Willis's truck after the shootout. He also showed us the 9mm gun with a laser sight on it that he says Willis used to shoot at his deputies. He says he wanted to point out this is what his deputies are facing on the streets of Jefferson Parish every day, and he says it's time for the community to wake up and not tolerate it anymore. At the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, Natasha Robin, Fox 8 News.
Thanks, Natasha. Willis's grandmother told Fox 8 she blames deputies for her grandson's death. She says she does not believe he was involved in drugs, and she believes he ran in fear for his life.